Yeah, so I just thought I'd talk a little bit just to intro this about my journey. So my brother and I started business together 40 years ago, 1984. And I built the whole business around the fact that I wanted a mobile phone, or I wanted a car phone. I just thought it was a really cool thing to do. It would mean that I could carry on wearing my hat and not have to be bolted to a desk. And it was actually transformational. The only problem was that for the first 10 years, every four-letter word you could ever imagine was screamed at me from all sorts of people, because you can't believe it, the younger folk in this room, that having a mobile phone was definitely not seen as a great thing. However, in 1987, we got our first Apple Mac, and that was transformational. You know, we went from having to do print and all sorts of really slow processing when it came to doing design and branding, and it just transformed our business. Suddenly we were able to do design printed out of these amazing laser printers, and we saw this transformation occurring. And we ended up in 1994, my brother walked in and said, there's this thing called the internet. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? He was always out there. He's still out there, to be fair. So I said, okay, you know, let's get involved in that. And so we started doing, you know, a few kind of brochure web kind of websites. And in reality, I think everyone in this room knows that the likes of internet actually took a long time for us to all pick up on it. It was years for estate agents. I was banging on doors for maybe 6 or 7 years before people actually realized that this was the time. And likewise, the next stage was in 2006, we went to see the launch of Twitter. Now, of course, the infamous X, out in Silicon Valley. And again, I think it was at least 5 years, and probably in the estate agent world, 10 years before we actually took it on board, you know, for businesses to actually embrace it. I think in this room now, I mean, is everyone in this room doing social media, would you say now? I hope so, yeah? Because it is awesome. But I don't think that we've got the same level of time. And I think that Ian touched on it. You know, the whole principle of internet had no foundation. Social media moved faster because the foundations were in place. Now we've got these amazing devices in our pockets. And so the whole, you know, world is moving at an absolute pace. And AI, you know, there's nothing that we can do. We can't ignore it. It's inevitable, and we've got to embrace it. And so, like we said earlier, we really see it as a 2 to 3 year thing. And I reckon that thanks to ChatGPT, we're already a year into that. So what is AI, though? I mean, you know, in reality, it's been around for a very long time. We have been dealing with AI without even really knowing it, you know? I mean, it's been the bigger companies that have been doing all the Netflix and matching you up to the things you like, and all our touch and face ID, it's all got AI involved in it. But it hasn't really sort of touched on us. We haven't had to get too involved in that. But how do you describe AI? I quite like the brain analogy. You know, the way we learn things, we have experiences, and we all, as humans, make decisions based on experiences. Whereas AI has got data, and it's making decisions on predictions. That's all it is. We all recognize objects and patterns, but AI can do it at billions of times faster than any of us can do. And it's all there. It's all available right in our pockets. I think the thing that's really made the difference over the last, well, really year and a half is generative AI. And now, I mean, is everyone in this room using ChatGPT? Hands up who is using ChatGPT. So it's a pretty good bunch. But if I said hands up to those who are using the paid version, how many are using that? Not a bad amount. the reality is that the one to the other is like North and South Pole in terms of capability. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So generative AI, I think this is what we're all used to. So creating things like area guides and content on your website, that's hopefully what you're all doing. There's no excuses. Jeremy and I know that building websites, one of the biggest hurdles is getting content. And I think now we've got this capability of producing content at the rate of knots. We can then humanize it, we can go in and we can customize it, but we can actually, cut to the chase and get volumes of content done at such a great speed. So text to text is the initial part of generative AI. You've then got text to image, which is the bit that I have become very excited by. Anyone who's seen me on webinars and videos over the year, I've always banged on about get rid of your damn Lego houses, your handshakes, your keys, your plastic calculators, and God knows what else. There's no excuses anymore. We've got Midjourney. We've got so many different products. I love Midjourney personally, and every image on this presentation is by Midjourney. That simple sentence there, a contemporary white living room boasts a wooden board in the style of ray tracing neoclassical clarity, which is I had to find out what ray tracing was, but it's actually that shadow of light coming through the window. That sentence creates that image, I think that's absolutely blooming amazing. But then we go to the next level, text to video. Now, this hasn't released yet. I mean, there are text to videos, but this Sora from OpenAI, I think it's a guy called Tyler Perry in America, was going to spend $800 million on 14 studios in Atlanta, film studios and recording and all this kind of thing. Just cancelled the entire project off the back of seeing this kind of thing. To be able to put those words into a system, and obviously in time we'd better just speak those words, we don't even need to type them, and you create that kind of output is just outrageous. So I think all of us in this room are going to just see this continuous roll of amazing stuff going on. So what do the Magnificent Seven do? The biggest guys, they're the biggest stocks out there. And you've got Apple, who are in big conversations, I think, down the line. They've got their own large language model, but they're also in talks with OpenAI to embed that into our phone. So I think that Siri is going to become, a way more intelligent person. And Microsoft are obviously heavily invested in OpenAI. Meta have got their Meta AI, I think it's called Llama or something like that. And, Google have got Gemini, and Amazon have got a whole other ball game. They're focusing heavily on the B2B industry. And NVIDIA is one like, who the hell's NVIDIA? Well, they happen to have turned into a juggernaut because they're producing all the processors and all the servers that are creating these giant language models. And then, of course, the infamous Tesla with his I think it's XAI and Grok. So whatever we think is going on, and however, Ian highlighted some brilliant stuff that you can do into your CRMs. And, we're obviously, a lot of you are writing descriptions and hopefully doing some social posts. I love the fact that you can do all this stuff and convert it into so many different types of content. But this is going to be impregnated. I don't know that it'll be Rightmove that disrupts us. I think it will be the likes of OpenAI. As I said here, in my mind, these guys started the ball rolling. They continuously, when they're up against the others, the quality of it is so amazing. So I personally am looking at probably 30, 40 different bits of AI every month. Absolutely obsessed by it. But I think you guys are time poor. You're busy doing your day job. Do this one, get right under the bonnet of this. It's obviously a lot more than what you just type in. The real issue, which is, I think, quite amazing, is that Forbes did this survey, and 87%, that's an interesting one, the calculations, whatever, 87% of businesses want to adopt AI, but only 4% have actually adopted it. Now, that's because of compliance, and there's all sorts of worries for big companies. But I personally think that you just have to crack on. You need to obviously listen to any of the compliance that comes through from Europe and the UK, and there's lots of things going on. But I think that it's not our responsibility. So what I wanted to do was, I think that, how should we do AI? Like, literally, when it comes down to the individuals in the room, I think that it's a big subject. And, my personal opinion is that you need to look at it in a kind of, let's empower everyone in your business. Don't stop people from doing it. Make sure that everyone has the ability to try something, because you never know who it's going to be. Everyone in the room, who's very busy in this room? I think that's a lie. I think it's everyone. Everyone I speak to is so damn busy. And the reason is that we're doing 80 to 90% of admin all day long. So we need to get these tools. God, my mouth's drying up. I think it's the pills. We need to get these tools. We need to get them humming. We need to give people the freedom. And then afterwards, you need to actually give people some kind of guidelines. I think it's important that you don't get carried away, and I think people need to, have some way of being steered. So you put up the guardrails. If you were given a car like that and told to drive 250 miles an hour around some futuristic track, I don't think there's many people in the room that could do it. Well, actually, AI is that kind of powerful. It is quite incredible. So we do need some guidance. Now, what I think we should be doing is, once you've done that round of, freedom to look, and then once you've put some of these sort of guardrails up and guidelines within the business, you actually want to start implementing it. So if it is that you're just doing your property details, or if it is that you're doing your blogs every single week, and then someone's just editing and aligning it with your sort of brand, implement one of those things, and then try and get your whole team to understand it and start using it. Because I think that a lot of people are, probably scared of AI. I think the biggest thing I've heard as I've spoken at various events on this subject is everyone goes, oh my God, it's so scary, And it is scary, but it's actually really exciting. So it's when you actually see it really working to your benefit without having to be some crazy tech person. I think everyone in this room can start seeing the benefits. Then, of course, what you want to do is train people so that they make sure that they're following the same processes, the same procedures. What you don't want is this irregular stuff going off, all the different language throughout the business, the sort of brand and the tone of voice. And the beauty of the likes of, in fact, only as of this week, I think they announced that the ChatGPT Plus, the paid version, is going to start remembering, if you want, everything that you say you do and don't like. You don't have to be in threads anymore, continuously writing in the same thread. Wherever you write, however you fire it up, if it's you personally doing it or if it's your business connecting APIs, it will learn what you want, how your tone of voice is, what you don't want it saying. I personally, if I see the damn word game changing, which seems to be a ChatGPT favorite, everything's game changing. You just say never use game changing and it won't ever use that again. So that's really great. So the other thing is, obviously, you need to say to yourself, well, a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, when Ian's implemented for all the people in this room, or Repeat, or, whichever MRI, want to be fair to all the CRM people in this room. When you've all implemented these things that are going to take away all of the time. And someone mentioned earlier on, what are we going to do when Rightmove's doing it all for us, or whoever's doing it all for us? We have to transform with it. We have to plan. We have to say to ourselves, what can humans do? Now, I don't think ChatGPT can do what we're doing in this room today. And I think if we're all honest, estate agents, the best thing estate agents can do is actually be with customers and be in front of your customers. So if we could switch that 80% of admin bullshit that we do all day long into 80% actually talking to customers, doing that lovely little soft touch and that lovely little tone of voice that we all have, then we're going to be smashing it out of the park. So I think a great way to start, and this is me, if I was in your boardrooms and I was in your blue sky meetings, I would say, well, hold on, we are time poor. We are continuously chasing our tail, spinning plates, as we say in our business, on hands, toes, whatever you can spin a plate on, and trying not to drop anything. We should focus on this time-saving things. I think it's a really good way. You can't get into big trouble because you're doing it internally for the benefit of your own business. And some winners, I've just put together some winners. So my absolute favorite, and I've said this a few times, who in the room uses Otter AI? A few people. For me, every single meeting I ever go into, I always switch my phone on. I say, do you mind me recording this call? This meeting, sorry. And likewise, if it's online, in fact, Otter AI powers Zoom's audio transcript and the whole recording. The beauty is it's working out. Ben said he will send the photo, and someone else said that they will write the copy. It creates an entire meeting notes at the end of every meeting. It highlights all of the bits where, as humans, they know it's not the waffle bit, it's the actual action bit. It completely takes time. Every meeting I do goes straight to my team in India afterwards. They know every single word. They feel like they were in the meeting. And you're building up that data. It should all be back in your CRM. Every single call you make needs to be recorded, if you can do it. We have a solution if you want it. Every single call can surface the gold that was in that call. It can also remind the bosses in this room that they didn't ask if they had a property to sell. They didn't ask if they needed a mortgage. So it can help for training. But I think in the long term, the more data, the more information you can create, the better you're going to be. So this can be in your pocket for free. You can do up to a certain amount of minutes a month, just have it in your pocket. No one says no to me. No one ever says, I don't want to pay for that. Sorry, I don't want you recording that. This one is another one. I mean, he's in the room. So Simon, he loves to write a long email. I don't know if anyone in this room, have you ever seen these damn things? They're this long, yeah? And he means so well, and it's full of passion and it's full of adjectives. And we were in a Property Academy meeting and everyone went, oh, bloody hell, Simon. So I just threw it into ChatGPT and said, can you pull out the top 7 things that he said in here? We all got our bullet points. I resent it to everyone and everyone said, brilliant. Isn't he a brilliant guy, You
could have saved everyone 5 minutes if you'd done that.
Exactly. So, and, how often do we sit there thinking, oh my God, this disgruntled person or, whoever it is, how am I going to handle my response? Well, just write a few notes, write a little few prompts. Let ChatGPT or whichever tool, there's many tools that can use it. This happens to work in my G Suite. And it just actually saves you a bunch of time. And of course, it gets to know you, so it gets to know your tone of voice. I hate spreadsheets. Who likes spreadsheets in this room? Oh my God. I hate spreadsheets. I'm a nightmare with it. This tool, which is actually one of the apps that you can get that already connects if you've got the paid ChatGPT, just go to that and say, hey, here's my spreadsheet for my, profit and loss of 2023 compared to 2024. Get it to do this, that, and the other, and send me an email every week with the updates of where we're at. This sort of stuff is there at £9 a month or $9 a month. It's a joke. It can save you fortunes. You tell it once, it's got it bloody worked out, and it's something else. And for me, it gets me out of it. Microsoft CoPilot. I hate Microsoft. I'm a Mac man. I'm an Apple man through and through. But for my sins, as part of Nurture Group, I am having to suffer the awful world of Microsoft. But they have got onto this game. They have got their teeth stuck heavily into OpenAI and AI in general, and it's popping up everywhere. It's popping up when you're in your spreadsheets, in your PowerPoint. So maybe, just maybe, PowerPoint might get good one of these days. So yeah, that's another area that you can just allow your team, switch it on, pay the damn price. It doesn't cost that much. The other one is, we all need to learn about this. There's some amazing podcasts that are going on all the time. There's these sites, Udemy, which is like a sort of university of, different learning, and Coursera, deep learning. They're just a couple. There are literally hundreds of them. Literally get people on it. Let people actually learn. It's going to turn your business into a rocket ship, because everyone else is tire kicking. Everyone else thinks that they've got the 10 years or the 15 years. No, they haven't. They've got a couple of years, and everyone in this room who could be bothered to come to this event, and thank you very much, you learn at the rate of knots, and we're going to take it to the next level. So the funny thing is that I felt like, what we need to do is we need to learn how to do prompt engineering. Well, the moment someone said prompt engineering to me, I was like, sorry, I didn't go to that school, far too techie. It's basically just write a brief. Just be very sensible and don't cut corners. At the end of every single thing you write, you got to put UK English, otherwise you get all the Zs, as we know. But I was coming to this conference, and I apologise to Fine & Country, there's someone from Fine & Country in this room, and a guild member who's heard the same thing. But I came to the conference, the Fine & Country conference, and I opened one of my blogs that I absolutely love, and it just said, prompt engineering is dead. And I thought, oh Christ, it's in my presentation. I'm about to tell everyone you've got to learn prompt engineering. And what it actually said was, you now write into ChatGPT what you want and ask it to write the prompt for you to then put back in. So in other words, ChatGPT is now better at writing the right type of prompts for you. So it's a crazy world. So there will come a point where we really do not have to be that intelligent to get these things done. How many people use Canva in this room? Exactly. Canva is something else. Now, I've actually been loving this for ages, but the bit that I particularly love, and not everyone I speak to uses this Magic Studio. I mean, I think that up with OpenAI, Canva is doing a lot of it. It allows you to do set the scene for the sort of designs you want, or kind of posts you want, and you can save all those. It lets you pick media that matches the content that you want, and it's getting better and better by the minute. These guys are laser focused. It also allows you for all those annoying photographs where you wish it was wider, you wish you had more screen, and you want to grab something out of the image. And the one that I absolutely love is being able to take the background out of these images. I mean, that video that I did at the beginning, I was in my kitchen with the countryside in the background. I just dragged it in and put it into my preferred Zoom window. So pay the 20 quid, pay the 20 quid a month. If you're really tight and you don't want to pay £240 a year to have something that can beat the chess master, that has read every single book in Amazon, that has passed the bar, why wouldn't we do that? I mean, I literally think it's something that, it's the best thing that you could ever do. This is just an example for those who love Microsoft. You can go into the the library in ChatGPT, and you can pick all these apps. You can also create your own GPTs. So as a business, you can start training and pushing information into your own product. It's literally that easy, and you do not need any scientists in your business to do that.
Golden Nugget like Charles, this call may be recorded. How can I help?
Hey, I was hoping to make a hotel reservation for this Saturday through Monday.
Sure, let me take a few details to see what deals we have. How many people are coming?
It'll be 2 people.
Alright, I'm just gonna make a note of that now. Okay, I've got you down for 2 nights from Saturday, the 8th of July to Monday, the 10th of July for 2 people. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now just give me 1 sec and I'll have a look at what rooms we have available. Would you like a room with 1 bed or 2 beds?
1 bed is fine.
Okay.
So this is ridiculous, yeah? That lady sounded awesome. Why, as Ian was saying earlier on, why wouldn't we have that? And you'll say, oh yeah, but they don't sound as good as my people sound. You know, we've got people who just kick ass in our business, and they've got all the personal touches. They know it all. Well, record every damn call you do. Of those awesome people, never miss a trick, never miss a beat. Every damn call is handled in the most... This went on, I mean, if you like this kind of thing, AI, yeah? It's a massive business. It's kicking absolute butt. And that went on and took credit card details and then text the guy his receipt to check that he got his receipt. And the entire call, all the big hotels in the States are using this technology. So it's actually something else, I think. And so conversational AI is going to come, and we would be foolish to ignore it. I think we talked about data. I mean, we're massive fans at the Guild, property professionals. You got 800 odd independent agents, but they're all in sharing data. We've got all of their data so that we're able to do all of these predictive matches and propensity to move and so on and so forth. I do think it's worth being involved in a sort of sharing. We've got Simon with RAN, you know. There's all sorts of businesses, but you are sitting on data continuously, all of that data that comes into your business. We need to be working it all the time and actually learning from it. And that's why you need to be working with the CRM that actually allows you to connect all the conversations back and forward. Otherwise, you're just going to be left in the dark. I couldn't help myself to put this one in because I do think this is the future. My brother and I have ordered 2 of these beasts, and I plan to retire and let these do viewings for you autonomously and drive there with no one in the car, do my school run and all the rest of it. And I don't know if you've been noticing as I've gone through these slides, at the bottom of the screen, there's the prompts. That is exactly what we wrote to get that image out. The only thing that we added was the ICG logo. But I mean, that is literally something else. If you imagine putting all of these images that I've shown you today, they actually demonstrate thought and passion and quality and so on. So I urge you to up your game, you know. We really need to, we've got the tools. I mean, Midjourney costs us $20 a month, and we've shared it amongst 15 designers, the same $20 login. And I just cannot believe the kind of images that the guys are creating. I mean, it is, if you give it to different people, we all think differently. We're all coming at different angles. So we've got guys who are doing really incredible graphical stuff. We've got guys who are doing all sorts of outdoor kind of cool things. People who are doing this kind of stuff. Let's, you know, get a bit more imaginative and take this property industry to the next level. Thank you.